Hey everyone, we are going to drive the armor around, but before we do, I want to speak on something just real quick. So in a previous video I mentioned that I am unemployed, I don't have a job, this and that. And that's not 100% true. And the reason I said it the way I did is because I don't ever rehearse anything I do on this channel, and I probably never will. None of it's scripted, none of it's rehearsed. I charge a battery, I go outside, and we do what we do, right? So at the end of my 5th scale video, the first rip of Nightmare, I decided to let y'all in on a little secret that I don't have a job and I'm autistic and this and that, and I'm trying to make a career out of this YouTube thing. And all of that is true, but only to a certain extent. So I said I'm not good at anything other than RC, video games, and guitar. And we'll get into that here in a second too. But first of all, the whole job thing. I do technically have jobs, not a job, but I do odd jobs for people. So like just earlier today I was changing lawnmower blades. Last week I was trying to fix a garage door. I told the guy straight up, you know, I've never done this before, I'll take a look at it, but if I can't fix it, then you're gonna have to call somebody who can, because I don't know anything about this. I'll look into it, I'll see what I can find out. And at the end of the day, it was too much for me to, as a non-professional, to work on. You know, there was a lot of stuff involved. There's these 2 cables that hold the sides of the door steady, and then there's this big rod with these massive springs on it, and I don't know anything about that. And if I start screwing with it, I mean, most things in life are Lego, and you can do anything you put your mind to as long as you look at it like Lego. It's very simple when you break it down and just pay attention to what you're looking at. But I told him, I said, you know, those springs, I don't know if they only hold tension when the door is down to help bring it up. I have no idea what they do. And if I go up there and start screwing with stuff, and those springs all of a sudden release all that tension, then there's a good possibility that I could get hurt, or you know, something bad could happen. So I'll look at it and see what I can do, but if I can't figure it out, then you're gonna have to call somebody who works on these things professionally. And that's what we wound up doing, because there was so much involved with it that there's multiple steps in the process, and messing with those springs up there is very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So I told him, you know, hey, I've looked at it, and I'm not gonna do this. You know, and that's kind of the story with everything with me. I'll look at anything. You know, when my neighbors call me and need my help, I'll look at anything they want me to. And if I feel like I can work on it, if I feel like I can fix it, then I will. That's the type of job I have. And I don't charge my neighbors much for this. And there's a reason why. That's because they're very good people. My neighbors are the type of people where I wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning to a phone call, and they say, hey, I need your help.
I'm doing the other side.
I haven't had breakfast yet. I'll run over there, they'll cook breakfast, and we'll sit at the kitchen table and eat, and then we'll go outside and work. And when 12 o'clock rolls around, we'll go inside and we'll eat again. And if we still have some work to do, we'll go back out. These are the type of people, they don't mind me going into their pantry and grabbing a snack. They don't mind me digging through their cabinets for dishes. They don't mind me using their refrigerator to fill a cup with ice so I can have a soda. They don't mind, because that's how they know me. You know, they're good, decent people, and they feed me when I'm over there, you know. So it's like, I can't sit there and charge them normal, you know, labor hours for jobs. I don't feel right doing that, because there's just such good people, and if I ever called them needing help, they wouldn't ask questions, they would just come and help me, right? So I don't make a lot of money off of these jobs. It's certainly not enough money to support this hobby. So when I spoke out in that last video and said that I don't have a job, what I really meant, because it was all spur of the moment, it was all off the top of my head. I never want to ask people for subscribers, you know, and it was just one of those things to kind of instill the fact that I am trying to make this a profession, a career out of this, right? So when I said that, it was the truth, but it was also oversold a little bit. I do work, I do make money, but I don't make much money, and I don't have a stable 9 to 5, you know, work every day and then come home on the weekends and have fun. It's not my type of job. I wait for a phone call, and when I get one,
Hey, what, laying like this?
I go and help. So for instance, last month I made $70 off of everything I did, and that's in a whole month. That just not many people called me, and I bought a pack of Duratrack stacker tires for that Kraton. This month I just spent $105 on upgrade parts for the Kraton to support those tires. Servo, smaller pinion because those tires are massive, way bigger than I thought they were when I bought them. You know, just this and that and whatever. So I don't have a 100% certain, well-paying, constant job. All right. That's what I meant by that. Now, I said I'm autistic, and I very much am. I have Asperger's. I'm on the high-functioning side of the autism spectrum, and it makes things a little different for me. So, yeah, just another example of what I did. Next door neighbor, you know, we were sitting here, we were changing to doing full service on his lawnmowers, and he handed me this little deal about this long. It's not an impact wrench, it's an air wrench, and plug it in, and all it did was blow air. So I took it all apart and fixed it up for him, and it's working now. You know, it's another thing. It's like I'd never done that before. I had no idea what I'm doing. I watched a YouTube video on it and did it for him. Now it's working. You know, it's oddball things, this and that I do. So that's kind of the situation I'm in. The work I do and the money I get paid is not enough to support this hobby, and that's why I'm trying to make this YouTube thing a career. All right. So. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up so nobody was misinformed or thinking something about me that's untrue. At the end of the day, yes, I'm unemployed technically. At the end of the day, yes, I'm autistic. But the biggest lie I've ever told myself or anybody was that I'm not good at things. And I'm good at anything I put my mind to, because I look at everything like Lego, piece by piece, detail by detail, and as long as you look at life that way, you can do anything. You can do anything you want, and the same goes for me. So I just wanted to clear that up. With that being said, let's get out and drive this armor around.
All right, I'm gonna take this thing for a ride. So I do have some more parts coming in, and we're gonna do some videos on installing those. But remote's on. Good. So I got some Duratrack stacker tires, but they're so massive, and I didn't know this when I bought them, that I'm gonna have to buy some other parts to support them. So one of those parts is gonna be a smaller pinion, and it's hard to find for this particular truck. It's very hard to find anything smaller than a 12-tooth pinion. Not many companies make. Mod 1 5mm shaft. Anything smaller than a 12 or 13-tooth pinion. Hi, Marley. So I had to get it from Amazon, and I just went ahead and bought everything from Amazon, which I don't really do very often, because I would rather buy from places that are specialized in RC parts. You know, like RC Planet or A-Main or Horizon Hobby. Would much rather buy from those guys than, you know, places that really couldn't care less, right? But I got a better servo coming in. Hopefully it's a 25 kilogram servo. The stock one on this truck, I believe, is 18, and it's a nice servo for setup, like for a stock setup, but for those Duratrack stackers, it's not strong enough. So I've got that coming in. I got some motor fans, because here in Texas it gets pretty dead-gum hot, and these things like to run real warm no matter what you do to them. So we got some cooling fans for it. We are still running it on a 4S LiPo, so not as much power as it could have by any means, but still fun. Still plenty quick, man. This thing is a monster. Let me do a fast little pass by here. I've also noticed a bit of warmth from the LiPo after running hard like this. So I need to bump it up to like a 80 or 100 C. Yeah, we built this little jump out of clay, man, here in Texas. I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but our clay line is about 1.5 feet down. Not very far at all, so it's real easy access to clay. Man, this thing can take a beating. But got some clay sitting here between these two trees. See what we can do here. Hold on. Adjust the camera. It's bobbing a little on me. I got to get to an area that I can see it better. Give me just a second. I tell you what, man, these 8th scale systems have so much punch off the line. You can come up to something real slow and just blip the throttle and it launches so hard. Pulled up that stump over there too. Oh man, that is such a fun little thing. You gotta love physics, don't you? I didn't expect this, but I've got a dip in my driveway right there, and it makes for the absolute perfect landing. Flies just far enough to land right on the down part of that dip. I don't know what that noise is. That gotta have something to do with the ESC fan. We did land it. A little rough, but it landed it. We could try doing a flip off the slide. I don't know if I can though. I missed the throttle. That was my bad. Nope. Oh, right on the wing. I'm going to break those plastic wing mounts one of these days. I already know it. I already tweaked it real bad right there. I've already yanked one of these bolts out of my diff housing, so something to definitely keep an eye out on. Luckily, it's not like a structural part that holds the diff housing together or anything. It's just this little ear that comes off the top. So structurally, it's still okay to drive. It does sandwich your rear shock tower between the wing mount and the diff housing, but other than that, it doesn't serve much of a purpose. So it's still, I think, safe to drive. Just got to keep an eye on it. That's a fun little truck. This thing is going to be a psycho on 6S. That was weird. Lost throttle for a second. check things out real quick. I think it was just because I slid it backwards and didn't get full on the throttle. Oh yeah, we're good. There's a little bit of warmth, but not much. Check those motor temps. Oh yeah, about 4 seconds. ESC is nice and cool still. All right, good. Whoa! That was a weird noise, wasn't it? Everything still sounds smooth. My guess is a rock got caught under one of the drive shafts or something and squealed a little. Yeah, because it's good now. It's just kind of a weird noise there for a second. All the way to the end of the driveway. He's like a figure skater, man. So easy to control. No! You got an airplane flying around. Yeah, I'm liking this little clay jump. It could be a little smoother, be a little better built, but it's a great little bashing jump. Oh yeah, but like I was saying, with the clay out here in Texas, we have or at least in Texas where I'm at, very easy access to it. I'll show you where we were digging. And it's just like a 1.5 feet, 2 feet down because of where our clay layer is out here. And this is where we were digging for it at. And I mean, we had a good 4 or 5 days of rain prior, and this stuff was still bone dry. It's real hard packed clay. Real nice. Oh, we on our wheels? Yep. That was a hard hit. I don't even know what I hit, but I know it was a hard hit. How are we? We good? And okay, good. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell. I'm in those trees, aren't I? Yep. It's hard for me to tell sometimes just where my camera is. Ah! Hit the big sky jump a couple times, huh? It's a fun little jump to hit in rapid succession, this little clay one I've built here, but this big one here is still one of my favorites. What is that? I don't even know. Something with an on switch. Have to clean that up later. Man, this thing just flies. Hold on a second. I know y'all are tired of me adjusting this camera mount, but there we go. It's a little tighter. I got this thing so tight around my head right now that it's uncomfortable. Should have brought the nose down a little more on that. There's a tree there. That's fun. Oh, right off the edge of the jump. There's that ESC fan again. See, and now it's better. It's something to do when this truck is upside down. Something's in that ESC fan that gets hung. I don't know what it is. I noticed it yesterday when I was out bashing this thing around. Oh, right on the front. I should have hit the brakes. Oh, on that wing mount again. It's actually real cool out this evening too. It's a little later out in the day. Sun's down behind the trees. Good for audio too, no wind. Ah, don't hit the tree. Oh, that tortured the body. Oh, there it goes. My first cracks. Check it out. So you have these little caps on top of your shocks. And every time it punches your body right there. Loves to do it. Oh! Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. What was that about? Oh, you know what? Give me a minute, guys. Hold on. Let me check on something here. So this is something y'all got to be careful with these. I noticed this. If you ever notice that it's turning one way and not the other, you need to check this wire right down in here because it likes to get caught on that nut. And when it does, when your steering arm turns, it'll mangle this wire. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. This fell out and allowed enough slack for that to get caught there. So if you ever notice that this is turning one way but not the other, don't try and force it. Take your body off. Make sure this wire here isn't wrapped around your servo horn, all right? I noticed that a couple days ago driving this thing around, and actually before I was driving it around, I was looking at it, and I had this under here and zip tied to this shaft, and I realized this has a lot of slack in it. And I actually grabbed it and did that, and it wraps itself right there around that servo horn. So be careful with that, guys. It's not good. As a matter of fact, I would recommend, if you have zip ties, take this around this side and probably tie it like that. I mean, you don't want a lot of stress on these motors, on these battery wires, but you don't want that getting ripped. This cap pack here is meant to hold energy. So on 6S, it can dump it in when the system calls for it, if I remember correctly. If you break that wire, you don't have that reserve power anymore, and I don't know what it would do, but it certainly probably cause some issues, so keep an eye on that. Because that's exactly what just happened to me, and thankfully it doesn't look like I did any real damage, but yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. Alright, that motor is getting actually pretty hot, and this video is probably getting kind of long, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. We'll put the body back on it. Well, I'll just put 2 clips in because I got to take it off, take the battery out when I get in the house. Alright, well, thank y'all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Yeah, y'all have a great day. Next time you see this thing, you should have some upgrade parts, some bigger tires. I'm not going to be running a bigger battery yet. It wasn't in my budget this time. But this is, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not. This is a 4S 50C 5000 milliamp hour battery. And with those Duratrax stacker tires, these electronics suck so much juice that this 50C I don't think has the discharge to keep up. Because I've noticed that on the bottom of my chassis under the battery. It didn't happen today because it's nice and cool out, but yesterday when I was bashing this thing around, just like I am here, that lipo, I mean, it got warm enough for me to feel the heat through the bottom of the chassis down here. So it's definitely these things, when you put bigger tires on them, they definitely suck down the juice, and you definitely need a high C rating lipo. It doesn't, you know, the milliamp hour doesn't matter much. That's just your run time. But if you're running a 4S or a 6S, you're going to want something that's got a high discharge, a high C rating, because without it, it overstresses your battery and causes heat, which is never good. and certainly not good with a lipo because you'll wind up burning your rig down. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.